Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 3rd of September. So looking ahead at today's fundamental data coming out, well, there's not a lot really. It's 1:30, we've got the Canadian unemployment claims and trade balance, which the unemployment claims may cause a little bit more of a stir, so something may come out of that. But then at 3 o'clock we've got Bank of England governor speaking, but he is speaking on cryptocurrencies, so cryptocurrencies and stable coins. So we'll see what happens there, but will it affect Bitcoin? Possibly, etc. And then at same time, 3 o'clock, we've got the US non-manufacturing PMI, or services PMI as we like to call it. So there we go. So not much there. That services PMI might, it's a bigger part of the GDP of the US than it used to be, so it may give us a bit of a pick up, so watch out for 3 o'clock. Okay, side of that then, we've just left these good old technicals, and well, I've just put a fib retracement on this euro dollar for a moment. I don't use them that frequently, but when we're looking for sort of, well, how much is a market retracing if it's given up? As I said, we had a double divergence where yesterday saw that really selling through the day, and well, through the Asian session we've already seen a bit of a sell-off, triggering a bearish pivot swing. These moves can develop into something a bit more, and I was just looking, well, what more? We're into almost a daily 34. Maybe if that can give some support, that'd be fine. If it starts breaking through that area, there's also a trend which I haven't drawn on the bottom of the lows there on this chart, but I've got it on another. There's support from that, or we're looking towards the daily 50% retracement. So just to give sort of some idea of where this market may go for the rest of the week or into next week. So if we see a bigger correction, there's this actually is the trend line. It's on last week or the week before. It's been there for a while. It's been actually last week it was tested numerous times here, and then this week, well, it's just broken through. If it can close down before 8 o'clock here, we could end up with well, a continuation, but it is straight into that 4-hourly 200 moving average. So we'll see how we go from there. Looking elsewhere here, well, so it continued its patterns. Lots of chopping in between here, but for now might be softening further. I was looking yesterday, doing some analysis on the euro as a whole, and it's done pretty well against the dollar, but it hasn't done quite so well over the last month against other currencies. So its real gain has been, as I say, against the dollar. Other currencies have really been outperforming it, although a lot of focus on the euro dollar, and it has paid off quite a way. Okay, so that's the euro. The pound. And well, the pound, it too is following that sort of southward route at the moment. I haven't put anything else on this analysis at the moment. Weekly pivot. I'll get it right in a minute. It's a monthly pivot. I'm looking at a daily chart. I've got the monthly pivot on there. Still hasn't been touched even. It's below price where price sits at the moment there. Other levels, well, 34, daily 34. Now this one's held up generally better, although just coming down the time frames, and you can see the detail here, lower high on this 4-hourly chart, and as I said, there's the pivot that it may be, or one of the pivots it may be heading for. In fact, there's two that sit below. That's the weekly, and the monthly is just really so close to each other, and that 200, that could well be a bounce point for at least, well, half a decent move. I wouldn't count on it massively. It's edging towards its sort of extreme move, so if it does get extremed and it's selling off into that sort of area, watch out, because the retrace may be shallowish and it may come back and test. So we'll see how it goes there, but for now it has double bottomed in the near term. Let's have a longer term view on this. A slight divergence there on the MACD which covers a longer period. This is a 6-period RSI, so it's quite aggressive, but we'll see how this falls into place as we run through the morning here. But that would, as I say, in the short term, I'd possibly be looking to see if we can get a bounce off that. As I said, the pound has held up better. Dollar yen. Yen was a funny old creature yesterday. It was just staying in a very tight range, and I've just sort of drawn on these sort of Trend lines, I know it's getting a bit of a mess here. I've got the regression channel still sitting there. Well, it's been playing into it, and it really shows me the trend very easily. So at a quick view, I was going to say it's sort of taken quite a bounce here as well. Just as say, dollar strength certainly coming through. And when moving down to this 4 hour, this is what I was really looking for. If we saw a break of the lows of this, now personally, it would have to really get through all this mess for me to be interested in it. All these MAs here could provide support. So if it was to start correcting, well, it needs to break there for the downside. At the moment, it really looks like it could be on back for this 500, 4 hourly 500 at some stage. So it's edging its way up more and more. And the more we see this dollar regain a bit, the more potential that has of being hit. Aussie dollar now one of the strongest, if it actually was the strongest for most of the month and has been for some time, yielding less against the dollar and everything else, but it is too riding down. It's put a little pivot swing, a bearish pivot swing. It's looking to break its daily 8. Just a little bit softer lower high here on this time frame. Just coming into the weekly pivot. The monthly pivot is just this finer line here just above. So, but you can just see the pattern now. I was looking at this, and I'll come back actually for the 4 hourly. Looking yesterday, and whilst it was sort of sitting at a certain point along here, it always looks like a sort of a potential bull flag. And if it had gone from this point here, yep, that's great. You know, you sort of just trading that direction. When you start putting these lower highs in, well, maybe there's more downside to be seen here yet. So you just need to watch. But again, it's just a case of finding some support here, and if it does come with the weekly or this new monthly pivot here in the 200, and there's enough support, maybe we'll get a trade off that, or just be patient and wait for this trend here, which is sitting across these highs. Pop that on there. Wait for this to be hit. Okay, and broken. Right, so that's the Aussie. Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar has been a stronger pairing. Yesterday it started a good push up, never really managed it. It's pulled back, but still got the potential. Again, I'm not going to get out the time frames here for a moment, but there's the weekly and monthly pivots. Could be calling, drawing it up above there, and by breaking this high this morning, yesterday's high there has confirmed a more significant higher low in there. It was quite messy yesterday, and it can go into this horrible choppy sort of zone for quite some time, the CAD, and it didn't fail us there, did it? So that's the Canadian dollar. Earning, as I say, US dollar, Canadian dollar looking bullish. Looking through the other markets, S&Ps, well, they just continue to go and go. Okay, we had this sort of retrace late session yesterday through the Asian session, but again, it looks like it's setting to just continue. Don't really want to be standing in the way of that. It's not even come back to its daily pivot at the moment. Maybe it'll roll this morning a little bit, but it's on the advancement, I would suggest. And at some stage, sure, it'll have a bigger correction, but for now, we're seeing that double whammy of both the dollar going up and the S&Ps going up. Gold's looking softer now. Daily wise, it put a bearish pivot swing in yesterday. Looking with that stronger dollar, that we could see a bit more downside here. Lower highs coming through here. And there are signs on the sentiment on the dealers trading gold that they've reducing their long positions, and that well could just be a sign of a bit more weakness coming through here. So are we at the early signs of a complete dollar recovery? Well, I think it could be a choppy old route ahead. That's all I would say. That's it. And look, the euro's trying to break through now as I speak. So I'll leave you with that note. Have a great day. Bye for now.